Greetings, Kevin Clark here for the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals, or ISSIP, and I'm delighted to be with Frank Mellis. And Frank, congratulations on winning an ISSIP award, right? We're glad to have you with us.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin. It is a big honor to win that prize. It was a lot of work, and all of the team members are really thrilled when we received the message that we are the winner.
Well, it's just outstanding. Uh, Tell us about your award-winning work in brief. All right, what is it all about?
Yeah, well, the shortest version of a long story is that what SMRT.Bio is doing is growing people and economies at scale and speed. That is the shortest sentence I can share with you. And what does it mean? Um, we are big believers that economies don't grow from a national perspective, but they grow from regional perspectives.
Mhm.
So you're coming from the US. There is a big difference between the Rust states and California. As an example, well, we have something similar here in Europe. Northwest Europe is growing. We have an economy that is growing fast
Mhm.
with low unemployment rates. But when you take a look at other regions, especially in Central and Eastern Europe, but also in Southern Europe, unemployment rate is still rather high, and especially regarding youngsters, so under 30. In some regions, we still hit 20 to 30% unemployment rates.
Mhm.
And when you take a look at what's happening in Africa, unemployment rates are staggering. So we are running a few projects right now in South Africa, and we are hitting situations with 70 to 90% unemployment rate, even for students that have left
Mhm.
with a bachelor or master degree from university. And that is where we have a passion to solve that situation through a platform we have developed, um, and to allow people to understand who they are, what their passion, strengths, and skills are, that we can invite them to come up with business plans, that they can submit business plans for financing, and ultimately create new jobs, create new companies, take the steering wheel of your own destiny in your own hands. That's the story of Smart Bio.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it. I like it. What is your background, Frank? What led you to this point professionally?
Well, my background is I started as a marketeer. I studied marketing. The reality is I've never done that much with marketing. I was hired by Philips Computers early in my career, a long time ago, and I fell in love with technology.
Mm.
So for all of my life, I've been involved in internet and internet-related technology development and service development, working for companies like Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC, as some
Mhm.
people called it at those times, AT&T, Bell Labs. I was one of the division directors at Bell Labs responsible for information access within the company, resulting in becoming responsible for the online services for AT&T International as a vice president.
Was
Um,
that during the Arno Penzias era? No?
no,
Okay. All right. I'm just
uh,
curious.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So this was just before AT&T Bell Labs became Lucent.
I see. Hmm.
Yeah. There are
Very good.
stories to share on that transition. Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds great, and it sounds like you have a lot of different experiences, that you're bringing to the smart bio uh, world. So the history of deployment and where you see this technology going next. What do you how do you think it's rolling out? I mean, clearly it's award winning, right? But you know, how is it going from your perspective, using your own expectations as a measurement, and where do you think it's going next?
Yeah, what we see happening right now is last year we announced the latest generation of our platform. We call it SMRT.Bio Generation 4. When we were ready showing really what it is, and I know that your background is
Mm-hmm.
also in service interaction and interaction design, what I
Mm-hmm.
just learned from you. When we finished that work for 2.5 years, we shared our technology with potential customers. And
Mm-hmm.
we were um, amazed that there was a lot of interest, especially from the educational arena here in Europe, in Africa, also from the US. And in the meantime, we also see something boiling, let me put it that way, in Asia. Um, what do we see happening right now? Our aim was to implement large-scale, high-speed projects. So talking about economic development, it's great to help one person to develop him or herself, but the goal is to have a whole group of people develop themselves. And as a result, the economy is supposed to be hit with this development. That's the whole thinking. And we were thinking we should hit, especially universities, Generation Z, with volumes of 10, 15,000 users within one project. Well, we are hitting projects now between 30 and 60,000 per project. And we are moving in the direction, especially coming in from the banking industry, that it is not a matter of 100,000 users to be connected, but 1, 2 million users. That is what we are preparing ourselves for right now. So from a business perspective, we are going through the knee. That is our feeling. Yeah. Um, from a technology perspective, I think we have nailed the problem. Um, and we are getting a lot of attention also from the European Commission, also from the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development in Paris, also from the World Bank that did a research on our technology. So I think we're on the right track, but there is much more to come, Kevin. This is not the end state.
Very good. Well, I think that you invited a colleague to join us to share something with you. Would this be a good moment for that to happen?
That would be great. Let me introduce to you our brand ambassador, as we call Chono. Um, Chono, can I give the word to you and explain a little bit about one of the projects we are running in Africa, please?
Well, most definitely. First of all, thank you very much, Frank, and thank you very much, Clark, as well, for having me on the platform. As you have heard, my name is Chono, the brand ambassador, and also I like to say things in simpler terms. I am the living epiphany, as we just heard earlier on, of the platform SMRT.Bio.
Mhm.
So anything about this, the platform, I represent how it works, how it functions, how we deliver the message, how we also try to carry out ourselves. That is all me. Now, what I do at SMRT.Bio, without talking too much, instead, I will show you guys a video so that you get a very good feel of what we've done, where we've done it, and how we achieved it, and some of the things that some of the people have also said about what we've done in South Africa, more specifically in Bloemfontein. I'll be sharing a video in 3, 2, 1.
At SMRT.Bio, we aim to support you, your company, and your regions in growing at scale and speed. With a single platform, we aim to drive economic transformation through sustainability, digital innovation, and inclusive opportunity. In South Africa, we launched the TIME Project, the Talent Implementation Model for Entrepreneurs. This groundbreaking initiative, powered by SMRT.Bio's AI-driven platform, is designed to spark socioeconomic growth, build critical skills, and create jobs starting in the Mangang region. We were joined by visionary leaders from the Central University of Technology, including the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dean of Engineering, and the Director of Academic Enterprise and Services, along with enterprise representatives from Northwest University and the UCAN company. Each shared how SMRT.Bio could directly benefit their institutions, their students, and the broader business ecosystem.
Together, we create a living lab where ideas are tested, communities are empowered, and real impact is measured. So it's not just a project, it is a strategic alliance that strengthens both partners. We are unlocking Africa's talent pipeline together.
For SMRT.Bio to be very successful, we need everyone because it's an ecosystem, like I said. If we have engineering students in CUTA in Bloemfontein, creating, let's say, smart mobility wheelchair, and we also have the same project being run by University of Johannesburg or Tshwane University of Technology. I'm mentioning the latter because we are collaborating with them. It creates a bigger picture. As opposed to us replicating what other people are already doing, we collaborate and create even bigger solutions for ourselves, for our students, and for the country, and who knows, also for the continent.
Highlighting how collaboration can turn potential into practice.
There is so much that holds us back in terms of business ideas, the ability to write business plans, access to funding even perhaps, and just like, curating it in a way that you understand and putting it and having some sort of output that might lead you to on a successful journey. And so I see SMRT.Bio as one of those tools, an institution in itself, if you will, that can lead you to a potential of actually becoming a business person, applying for a job that suits your passion, taking you down a path that has been tested, that can get you to some level of success. I feel like SMRT.Bio goes one step further in that it looks at your psychometric test of yourself, your psyche, what you like and what you don't like, and it can potentially then lead you into business ventures. And I feel like that is a level of almost certainty, if you will, that it brings into a otherwise uncertain space that can really generate successful outcomes.
The excitement was tangible. Over 26,000 students registered on the platform, a strong indicator of their hunger to participate in building their future. From accessing opportunities to mapping their skills, the students immediately saw the value SMRT.Bio can bring to their academic and professional journeys. What we witnessed was more than just curiosity, it was commitment. With strong support for integrating SMRT.Bio into the student curriculum, this partnership is paving the way for a new kind of microeconomic society, one built on empowerment, access, and innovation. This is only the beginning to make CUT the most entrepreneurial university in South Africa.
Thank you for sharing
Voila.
that.
Thank you, John.
That's great. And Frank, I'm sure you feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, we do. And let me make a connection also with ISSIP here. So the charter of ISSIP is to work on the platform economy, in essence. This is what I have learned, like many of us, from Jim Spoor. The logic that we have offered to ISSIP is to invite students also from CUT Bloemfontein or Northwest University or Vassals University in Croatia, or I can give you a whole list, to come up with their service ideas. So we have offered ISSIP the possibility to post a challenge to all of the users on the SMRT.Bio platform. And when they have an idea, they can post it on SMRT.Bio. They can work on their own business model on SMRT.Bio. They can invite peers in a team, not necessarily only from one university, but it can be international projects as well. and then post it. And the beauty here is that ISIP has allowed us to implement this. And by the end of this year, we expect to step forward with a number of excellent business propositions that ISIP will make an announcement who is the winner, who is delivering the best business model that fits the mission also of the ISIP community.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for doing that. I'm sure I know that ISIP will enjoy, and ISIP members will enjoy interacting with the Smart Bio platform. So, how did you find out about this award?
Oh, that's Yassi, um, with a beautiful last name. The former director, so the person who directed ISIP before Michel took over. I met her in a meeting at the European Commission, and that was the
Mm,
moment I started to learn about ISIP and what ISIP is doing. And that goes back now, what is it, 4 years or so?
mm, mhm,
Um, and and I see myself, well, in the meantime, I became an ambassador to ISIP as well,
mhm.
to bring ISIP's message also to Africa, because it should not only remain in California or in the US or in Northwest Europe. It should be also a message to be shared with youngsters in Africa. It is 1.2 billion people per today living on the African continent, growing to 2.5, 2.6 billion people in the next 25 to 30 years.
Mhm.
It is huge. And when you take a look back to unemployment rates, how do people develop themselves? There is not enough physical space at universities to educate that volume of people. But at the other hand, we have mobile devices, we have smartphones. So to me, this is the university of
Mm,
the
mhm.
future for most of the youngsters. So let's use that technology with a goal to reach as many people as possible. Again, not only on the northern hemisphere, but also on the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, 100%. As
Yeah,
I've studied that, the one thing I've also taken away is that African continent has led rest of world on M banking and M finance, right?
correct.
That you know,
Absolutely.
and that was out of necessity, right? And then
Correct.
the rest of us have benefited from those advancements, right? That are not brick and mortar. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
for
correct.
continuing that progress. So, do you and your colleagues have anything that you're looking for? This is an opportunity, as we record this right now, for you to ask for something. What are you trying to get connected to? What do you need next for your success going forward?
Oh, when you are growing very quickly, there is a necessity for a number of things. Money
Mm,
to
mhm,
grow. So we are working on that subject really on a daily basis as well. This is not the moment to go in depth on that one, but that is a topic that keeps us
mm,
busy. On the technology side, the whole development of AI agents, how to make a process of AI agents that fit the work process of our users is something that really keeps us busy. And another one, and I'm not going to talk about geopolitical situations, but when I'm in Africa, the message is AI is great, but when I leave my IP on the LLMs that we all know of, I don't have to repeat them to you coming in from a US perspective. Um, 90% plus is US, 10% is Chinese, and the reality is none is European. Where is that IP going to? So that's from a legal perspective, and I think legal combined with technology. that is a topic that keeps us busy as well. So when you have people, and I'm sure ISSIP has access to those people that could help us on how to ensure IP is not floating away from people that have created the IP. We would love to be in contact. And of course, we would love to be in contact with any university worldwide, Kevin, any university. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, those are
Yeah.
good asks. All right. And we
Thank
wish you
Thanks for
all the
opportunity.
best for success in finding the resources, the connections, and the AI tech, right?
Mhm.
That really suits the use case that you're building out.
Mhm.
So my final question is there a question that I should have asked you that you wanted asked, right? That you want to share with everyone? So you get to ask the last question of yourself.
Well, some people ask the question, when you take a look at SMRT.Bio, what is the core of SMRT.Bio? What is the core message? And I think we shared in the video of Chono, where we hit individuals really on the ground at grassroots level. That's important to take a look at and to digest. From an intellectual perspective, what is crucial is that SMRT.Bio is making the connection between the four key stakeholders in the economy. That is the individual, of course, employers, yeah, and especially the micro ones. 60% roughly of all people in Europe and in Africa are employed by companies with less than 20 staff. That's a target that really needs attention, to my strong belief. The educational system, we are moving now in the direction of micro credentials. It is being sold to us as a solution, but for the individual, it's not by default a solution, because I have to pick from a much bigger volume of courses. That is where technology should come in. And finally, the regions, the public sector. Um, um, I know what's happening in the US on trimming down the public sector. What we see happening here in Europe is also to become much more effective from a public perspective. And what is needed is to have access to real micro data in regions, and that is what we lack. We are still working on aggregated data coming in from statistical bureaus that don't have the information. Who is Kevin? Who is Chono? Who is Frank? How can we help them? And that is something where we have created the platform to bring those connections between the four key stakeholders. I think that's an important one to share as well.
Absolutely. Shono, thank you for joining us today. You're working for an award-winning company, and I might ask you, Frank seems like he's an award-winning founder. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've known Frank for a couple of years. I've been also keeping my eyes open to what he's been doing and what he's been developing. And I can only say that with every year, the developments just keep getting greater and greater and greater. And, I personally just feel lucky also to be finally part of the team. So I can only put a stamp on that.
All right.
Thank
Outstanding.
you so much.
Well, Frank, Chono, thank you so much for being with us. And again, congratulations on winning this award from ISSIP. You're, shining a light on exactly the kind of companies that we would like applying for these awards. And we wish you all the best for success going forward.
Thank
Take
you so
care,
much.
and we will make sure that everyone sees this. Frank, you have the last word.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks to the ISSIP team for offering this award. So thanks for having us tonight, Kevin.
Thank you.
Have a good
Cheers.
evening. Talk to you. Bye bye.